Our next speaker is Jack. Jack, I may get your last name wrong, Jasienak. Talking about agile manufacturing, IT and robotics-enabled manufacturing. Jack.
Thanks guys, I'm Jack. I'm actually doing mine in a duo today, and I've actually got the privilege of doing the talk, and then this is Marcel Bick, and he'll be taking care of the questions. So I've got a good run today. So, look, a long time ago, 25 years ago, in a country far, far away, Poland, which is why you couldn't pronounce that name, I saw a movie, and this movie featured these two characters. Hopefully you guys have seen these two guys, and if you haven't, we should probably have a few beers and talk it over. Because one thing that this instilled in me is just this love of robots. I mean, robots are just cool. And I don't think there's any one person in this room who doesn't think that way. But the reality is that there was something more special and more deeper from these robots. And that is that there was a connection and there was a collaboration between the robot and the person. And that was so fluid, we didn't even notice. They were part of that story. And if you actually think about, the transformation of robotics into manufacturing, which is what we're all about at CSIRO in this flagship, that transformation hasn't happened. So you see in the car manufacturing businesses, you see the big automotive clamps that move. There's no connection, there's very limited connection with the workers. And for us, it's all about understanding how robotics and IT can actually connect together to enable for more efficient manufacturing in Australia and overseas. So I've actually got a little video here, and I wonder if that's going to work. But this package that we're working on across robotics and IT is termed Guardian, and it's really all about understanding that connection. Now, the ultimate goal of it is to increase the efficiency by increasing productivity and safety. So there's a couple of examples that I wanted to talk to you about. This first one is an autonomous system where you basically remove the worker from the person doing an activity. And so what it allows people to do remotely is to provide advice, whether it's through hand, vision, connection as such, and to provide real advice to that worker. The second part is Angel, Guardian Angel. It's about mapping 3D environments, really trying to understand in real time where things are actually located, locating walls, locating people. And in doing so, we hope to really try and make a safe environment for workers working in conjunction with robots. Now, this is an example of where we've used it with sports and athletes. Now, the advantage here is that athletes can wear this technology, and the actual method of detection and sending is much more accurate than GPS. So it's perfect for analysing these types of structures or these types of events and movements. So the Guardian package in general is actually a composition of 4 different things. Angel, 30 seconds, yeah. Angel, which is about understanding the environment. Guardian Mentor, which is about basically removing the skill set from a worker and using augmented reality to teach them. Guardian Helper, which is really about understanding how the helper or how a worker can work with a robot, a robotic arm for instance, or a secondary robot. And the final one is Guardian Worker, which is all about working for humans. Where can we start to use robots in situations where maybe humans would have found dangerous or something like that. So collectively, we envisage that these types of packages, these types of technologies will be used individually or maybe together as a complete package to solve issues where there's efficiency lacking and where there's automation needs. And ultimately, I think that what we're really looking for in terms of taking these technologies to the next step is working with people like yourselves to help commercialize some of these activities, but also to identify different sectors in the manufacturing industry where very specific technologies would be useful. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Marcel.
You can talk to Jack as well.
Okay, so we can both do the questions. You might have to share a mic.
Yeah, that works.
Can you give us a specific example of like a project that's kind of that you're excited about, like specific users doing a specific thing which specific technology helps with?
Yeah, we specifically target the manufacturing industry to increase productivity in the manufacturing industry, and we work together with a large client in the States that actually deploys one of these technologies that we've developed. And that's a combination of Guardian Angel and Guardian Mentor, where they help aviation assembly, maintenance and repair by semi-automation processes that weren't possible to automate beforehand, because it was a cluttered environment, in a manufacturing environment, where robots weren't able to operate together with humans. So you have to generate an environment where humans can operate with these robot systems. And that's what we're doing with the client.
A large American
Yep.
airplane manufacturer that we can't name. So is there like one or two primary insights that that sort of give life to this sort of interaction between humans and robots? Is it like we're doing this really well? Is it the awareness piece, or is it the analysis piece, or are they working on gesture or sound, or what is it?
So the key point is that a lot of people develop robots. We don't develop robots as such. We use the mobile platforms that are developed elsewhere. But what people are lacking is how do they actually autonomously move around the factory environment or another environment. So that's where we add the benefit and the value. We do the situational awareness with systems like Jack has explained, where you could see the sports people being mapped and tracked. So we track people, we track robots, and then that enables them to work together with robots and humans. So it's an alert system. The computers don't shut down and the robots don't shut down, but they can work with the humans and are not being caged away.
Okay, so last question from me. Like, Moore's Law is advancing technology, humans are getting better at understanding it. Where is the field advancing faster? Are the robots getting smarter, or are we figuring out how to augment humans faster?
That's a very good question. I think it's both. So the robots are getting much smarter, but we augment the robots as well as the humans with the technology.
But you're not going to take a bet on which one is...
I don't think we are very close to artificial intelligence. That's very far away. The robots won't actually learn.
So let's put our money on the humans.
Yeah, it will all be part of the humans.
Thomas, that's a great plug for our conference at the end of the year. Above all human, thank you.
But what I want to add is really we're looking for partners that can collaborate with us on commercialization of some of these technologies. And one of them is this Guardian Mentor system that is deployable now. We've deployed it in the manufacturing industry, and we're looking for a commercialization partner that actually could manufacture it, that could write the software codes, and to make it a product. So we have a research prototype, it does operate and work, but we are talking to you now today to actually engage with you and see if there's a business model for you that you can
Okay, so let me just understand very quickly, what's the sweet spot for that? Is it like high risk contexts or very complex environments, or what's the business problems that they have on their side that make them like the leading edge into being interested in the Guardian stuff?
So with this specific system that I've just mentioned, it is the telecollaboration aspects. Everyone knows Skype, but there's an additional advantage of using hand gestures from the expert to the worker, so that can reduce error in communication, these systems don't exist.
But what problem does the customer have that this is going to help with? Are they working in a high
misunderstandings in communication between worker and operator in remote locations. So for example, in the example of the large airplane manufacturer in the States, when they have to go into confined spaces, there's no communication link between the expert and the worker, and they need to oversee them, and also it enables to reduce misunderstandings.
Right, so in order to be able to, I don't know this personally, but in order to really know what's going on with the jet engine, you need 10 years experience, but the person in that confined space doesn't, if they only have 1 year experience, they could be communicating with the 10-year person.
That's one example. The mining industry is very interested. We've got a lot of end users lining up, but we need a commercialization partner.
Question.
Do you see this expanding into military use?
It is a good question, but for military use, you still need the bandwidth, and you need the connection and the Wi-Fi environment. So that's what limits the application in that area. But it's still a possibility.
Yep.
So you mentioned working with other platforms. Are you doing anything that's in partnership with or compatible with what Google's doing, with Project Tango, for example?
Yeah, we are aware of the project. We are not collaborating with Google on that because we are driving it from a different angle. But we do work with other platforms, specifically with mobile robotic platforms, and augment these platforms with new technologies and situational awareness components. So we are very keen to cooperate with the robotics manufacturers, if that answers the question. So we do need and want to collaborate with them because we need to use off-the-shelf components. We don't develop the hardware because we de-risk the development there. So the de-risk for the startup as well. Does that answer the question?
There's one question in the middle.
So during the commercialization process, once you actually get someone to do it, is it a purely licensing model that you guys use?
If I understand your question correctly, you are asking if it's a pure licensing model. No, it's one option, but we are very keen to collaboratively develop a technical solution and to develop not only do a tech transfer, but also to develop the next generation of these products. So it's both, and we've got a lot of possibilities to engage and develop systems, not only licensing. Does that answer that? Yep.
We've got time for one more. No? All good. Just a note to is there one more? Yeah.
Just a quick thing. Obviously you're working with your large American aviation manufacturers, you mentioned, but have you considered doing it the other way around, which is the people maintaining those aircraft in the field when they come across a problem that they would like Boeing to be able to answer
Yeah, absolutely, that's I think where we have to look into the supply chain, and we are talking to the maintenance and repair teams, not only in the aviation but also in the mining equipment area. But what we need is really a company or a startup that can understand the market in a way, because that's not our core business.
Just a question for Mike Egan. Is Mike here from Cyro? See him somewhere at the back. Drinking the beer, well done. So there's just a couple of questions. There's a theme coming up is like, how do I engage with Cyro? It's come up in the previous one, and then again, how do I engage with Cyro? So maybe that'd be good for you to touch on it. No, not now, but during the last talk. Yeah, it's just letting you know that it's coming. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you again, Marcel.